taught my last classes. After a pair of final exams in early May, I'll post grades, clean out my office, and turn in my key. When I do so, I'm not sure how I will feel about the moment of joyous relief. No more papers, how I will feel. I'm not sure if I will feel a moment of joyous relief. No more papers to grade, no more meetings, no more games, or if I'll feel a gnawing doubt of having made the wrong decision. Actually, I'll not completely retire. I have the good fortune to continue consulting for Prairie Lands with Susan and being able to collaborate with teachers like Terrence. By the way, teaching in Terrence's class is amazing because I got to do model lessons in his class. He's got some of the neatest students you will ever imagine, or at Breckenridge or at Hamilton. I will, however, no longer teach my students in my own classroom. Recently, I've taken to daydreaming breaks from reading essays. I played with the calculator. I guess I've tried to construct an infographic autobiography. If I averaged 125 students a year in high school and 160 students a year in college, in 45 years I've taught over 6,000 students. I've even taught grandchildren of some of my students. And I've also taught grandparents, parents, and now the grandchildren, I guess. When I figure the number of classes I've taught, it comes to 33,188. This number, of course, does not include the late afternoon planning sessions, the 4 a.m. grading sprints, or the Sunday grading marathons. I've not been able to figure out how to count the number of papers I've read, or the number of words I've scrawled as comments, or the number of times I've written the same comment on what seems like the same paper. If my students are correct in their claim that I give too much work, the paper generated over these years must total several 100,000. With retirement, however, I will defy one family prediction. I will not be buried with a pencil in my hand, surrounded by stacks of unread essays, and sent to one of the unknown corners of Dante's Purgatory until the papers are graded, recorded, and returned. In Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell contends that experts practice their craft over 10,000 hours. 33,188 50-minute classes leads to 27,656 hours in front of a classroom. Without a doubt, Gladwell's wrong, at least about the hours of practice leading to being an expert. Experts know how to fix their mistakes, and eventually they learn how to avoid them altogether. And I'm not an expert. I'm still learning how to teach. In fact, I've never felt like I've moved beyond much beyond being a first-year teacher, and I've had dozens of chances to do so. I always figured I would get it right on the next try. The end of the year may be the worst time to think about being an expert teacher or an average teacher or becoming a retired teacher. In the teaching year, this is my lowest ebb. Don't misunderstand me. I've always looked forward to vacations. But the end of the semester focuses my attention on my students who struggle, who still lack the skill to compose a paragraph, who can't read with help. I see teaching weaknesses as one of the causes of their failure. While I hope that's not the cause, the guilt of, if only I would have, sparks. While I know I'm not responsible for the grade a student earns, I wonder if one more conference would have mattered, if more encouragement would have changed an attitude, if a different assignment would have resulted in success. At the end of the year, I dwell on failures. In previous years, sometime after grades were posted, I began to see possibilities, began to set a new course for next year's class design, to find another way to teach. My energy would return, the chance to try again would dawn, and I would even begin looking forward to the first day of the next semester. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in August when this next school year begins. I've looked forward to the opening day since my first teaching job at O'Hara in 1969. I suppose I could use the day school starts as kind of a remembrance, take an educational trip as an overt sign of freedom while everybody else is in school, or watch Dead Poets Society and reflect on how a class of kids from Benton would have destroyed Robin Williams before he could say Walt Whitman. I'm not sure how it would spend the summer, since the 45 previous ones have included dreaming and planning and reading a couple of teaching books to prepare for the upcoming year. I don't know if I can read a mystery without gleaning ideas for class discussions or finding lines of great writing to share with my students. I'm not even sure how I'll handle the Sunday back-to-school supplements in the paper that come out in early July. For decades, the rhythm of the school year synchronized my life. I've also taken time this week to consider what I will miss and what I will not miss. I will not miss meetings, but I will miss the hallway conversations with colleagues. I will not miss memos telling me what I should do, but I will miss stealing good ideas from teachers. I will not miss staying late to meet deadlines, but I will miss coming in early to sip a cup of freshly brewed coffee and plan the day. I will not miss carrying sets of essays home on Friday afternoon, but I will miss talking with students about their ideas in writing. I will not miss carrying sets of ungraded essays back to school on Monday morning, but I will miss asking students to read their writing to me before we discuss their ideas in writing. I will not miss the disappointment of reading assignments not read, but I will miss the joy of discussions with those who have read. I will not miss apathy and complaints and laziness and excuses and whining, but I will miss flashes of humor and sudden insights and epiphanies. I will not miss coming home exhausted, but I will miss the work that exhausted me. Thank you.